Hey everybody, and welcome back to Threat X3 Production and another episode of Weekly Grind, the show where we take the stories of the week and we grind them down to dirt. I am one of your hosts, Nick. Here with me today
is your best man, Kevin. Hello, everybody.
It's nice.
With you all.
So hey, if you didn't know somehow, today is Father's Day. So today is a dad episode.
Happy Father's Day, Nicholas.
Oh, happy Father's Day, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're both dad. We're both dads. Go ahead, list yours off. List off the thing. 1, 2, and 3.
All right, everybody, judge me for like 5 seconds. In this, we have
what is that?
Dexton. This is Dexton.
Okay.
This is Alex. And this is Nova Dawn.
That's kind of cool.
So, feel free to judge me slightly. My bathroom light is on.
How did you not know?
Oh my god. Don't look at my toilet.
Blooper.
No, leave it in.
All right.
Okay.
And
Nick, what about yours?
Well, me, I have a brand new one. Brand new. She's getting close to 4 months. Well, no, I think she is 4 months. I don't know. It's all molding together in today's society with the COVID and the virus and staying indoors and everything. So it's just like, what year is it? Is it 2060 yet? Anyways, so yeah, she's 5 months old or 4 months old, and her name's Madeline. And then I have another girl, which is 5 years old. She is Zoe Ann. So I'm a double daughter daddy, as I like to put it. So yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody. Sorry, what?
I didn't say my children's age. You don't need to know their ages.
Okay, that's cool. Happy Father's Day to all the other people out there. A special happy Father's Day to anybody out there just like us trying to make content, trying to make it big on the tubes of you.
Yep. And if you're a daddy, but you're not the daddy, and you're still a daddy, double congrats to you, because you're filling the shoes of somebody who couldn't fill their own shoes. And that's amazing.
Yep.
So way to be on that. That's what my dad was. He was not my dad, but he stepped up. He played the role. And I'm okay, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Debatable. No, we got a papa who's not technically the papa, but he's the fucking papa.
Papa.
He stepped the F up. The other one has an illegitimate child of a stepdaughter that he somehow pays more attention to. Like, yeah, that makes freaking sense. I mean, your daughter that I'm married to, fuck her, I guess, but some illegitimate child that they're not even married, which there's nothing against that. I'm using it more as a derogatory term towards him, not towards the girl. So, I don't know. Be that as it may.
Let's hit the ground running with that. I agree. I shouldn't have to go into my history about my biological father, but he is no shiny nugget. He was very much a large piece of crap. And we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So I think that you and I both lucked out because we had some gentlemen that stepped up and really, really took the cake for us.
For sure. Today's episode, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Apex Legends is going everywhere.
It's clapping.
The Bandicoot is coming back to town. If you like skating games, it's a really good time to be skater.
Yeah.
And The Last of Us. We like it, and that's apparently wrong.
Yeah, I don't understand.
All that and more in today's Weekly Grind. So let's start it off with some of the smaller ones.
Okay.
Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Not only is it coming to Switch, but it is also coming to Steam and crossplay this fall.
This fall.
Correct. So, huge question for me, because obviously we had a Apex podcast. We loved Apex. We sucked its dick for so long until eventually we were just like, nothing's coming out. I think we need to stop.
Yep.
And so now we have Apex Legends. It's coming to the Switch. It's coming to Steam. It's getting crossplay, which I am a huge component of crossplay. But the big question, Keb Dog Coon.
Yeah.
Is it too late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boats. Well, okay. The way I look at it, they're going from New York to England, right? And they're taking a boat, right? And this boat going to England, I personally say that the boat hasn't quite reached England yet.
It's like the little steamboat that Mickey has. Boom, boom, boom,
it really is. It's that then the little tooty horn and stuff. Yeah, it's getting there. And that's just the society of that gaming style in general. We're getting down to the peak here, but we're about halfway. Apex just left New York.
Yeah.
Like literally Apex just got on the boat and was like, hey, oh, this is the wrong boat.
Yeah, right. I mean, I honestly, being one of the co-hosts of Apex Legends Hubcast, this was a feature that we wanted from the very beginning. I mean, especially since this came out after Fortnite. And by the time this came out, Fortnite already had crossplay. So crossplay, at first, it makes sense. Okay, they're still getting used to the balancing issues. They're still getting used to the net code. It made sense at first. But not only are we getting crossplay finally, but we're not even getting it until the fall. And in most circumstances, there's been a couple of developers, this might not be the same for Respawn, let's keep that in mind, but there's been a couple of developers that essentially said that it's about flicking on a switch. So why is this switch taking... switch! Why is this switch taking
You're
so
really
long to flick?
Steam ahead, aren't you?
I'm a huge fan. I don't want people to get it wrong that I hate Apex, and that's why there's such vitriol towards this, which vitriol is coming up later for something else. But I love them. I've always loved them. I had a podcast. We kept that podcast going for over a year and a half, and it wasn't because we felt the need to, it was because we loved the game and we still saw potential in it. Until it got to a point where we just felt so alienated, and to a point where there just wasn't a lot of people, but that's like a side point. It got to the point where it's like, well, we're not enjoying the game as much. And it's because of just decisions that they've made over the past. And it's like, this is the decision where if they would have made this in the past, it would have made things easier. Because a really good example...
I think it would have boosted the overall connectivity of the game.
For sure.
Because you and I mean, we played it quite a bit. I was okay at it. It wasn't like my forte game. Mm-hmm. But here's what I'm seeing now. We have Call of Duty Warzone out, okay? And you have Fortnite. If you blend Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone, in my opinion, you get Apex Legends, okay? And not saying that Fortnite, I don't, I'm not a super fan of Fortnite. The thing that loses me with Fortnite is the fact that I have to build you a house to protect myself.
Right.
That's where my connectivity to that game fell out. Apex, like you said, nothing was coming out. Nothing new was happening. It was the same rum and ran down stuff. But Call of Duty, here was a game that came out. It's been out forever. They saw what Fortnite did, and they're like, hey, we can do that.
We can totally do that.
We can do that. Now, did they hit it right the first time? No. I think it was okay, but it wasn't quite right on the head of the nail. Whereas Warzone, Warzone to me feels fluid. It feels natural. It feels fun. It's exciting. They're dropping new game modes while still letting us play the original game modes we've been playing. Mm-hmm. So they're giving you content. They're giving you skins, customizations, all kinds of fun little things. But the number one thing that they gave us was crossplay. They gave us crossplay.
From the launch. Yeah.
On launch, right? On launch. Now, again, Apex, my mans or gals, whatever you want to be. We're not assuming here. You picked us up and then you let us down.
Yeah, for sure.
You picked us up and let us down. And I'm not talking trash on the game. Okay, I'm not talking trash on the game. Mm-hmm. I do like Apex Legends. I love the skins. I love the guns. It's a fun universe to live in. It's a fun universe to play in.
Oh yeah.
And I would like to continue that. However, I have since Apex moved on to more fun games.
Yeah. And I mean, the crossplay does have a lot to do with it because, like, me and you in particular play a lot of Warzone, and one of the nicest thing is not having to worry about, oh, what system are you on? Oh man, I can't play with you. And
last night, an example, Cody. Cody was on Xbox, and he's like, "Oh, I can be on PC too."
Yeah, it's true.
And I can literally be playing on my PC Warzone, and say my wife goes somewhere, so I go take over the TV.
Yeah,
boom, I can switch right over to my PlayStation, and I'll have an issue.
Yep,
100% connectivity.
Yeah, and so most of our problem, especially like trying to build the community of Apex Legends Hubcast, part of our problem was like, hey, come play with us. Come play with the host of your favorite podcast. Yep. But only if you're on the PlayStation 4. Sorry. Like, I honestly wonder how much easier it would have been to create the Apex Legends, community if we were just able to play with everybody. Everybody. Because how much easier would that have been?
People. Yeah, no, 100%. I completely agree 100% that because of their, I don't want to say unwillingness or maybe lackadaisy.
Lackadacious?
You know what I'm trying to say. They were kind of lazy on it. They were lackadaisical. That's the word. They were lackadaisical on it, and they didn't jump on it like they should have. They didn't take advantage of the opportunity that was there. And you cannot, for the life of me, tell you that the money wasn't there.
Oh, for sure.
You cannot tell me. If you look at that company's financial growth over that time period, what?
Okay.
What? Oh, yeah, okay.
All right.
So that's my...
Yeah, 13 minutes. I definitely didn't think we'd talk about it that much, but it's a passionate subject, crossplay.
Get it down.
Let's get something happier, because that is happy news. Good for Apex.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's kind of wishy-washy. Let's get some hypeness, okay? Some ultra hype before we go to the ultra dark.
Okay, can I just also say this, that it's a Naughty Dog heavy episode.
Ooh, that's a good point. Sort of. But yes, I see what you mean. All right. Yes. So, story number 2. Crash Bandicoot, it's about time.
Okay, first off, the title.
The title.
Okay. Yes?
It is about time. Thank you for pointing that out. How meta of you.
I mean, we've had Jack and Daxter. We've had a bunch of remakes and a bunch of things like this, but we have been aching for a new game.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm excited to see. After you and I had played through the crashes again and kind of went through them and kind of picked them apart a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens with today's day and age of gaming. Let's see what happens when they have this type of software and engineering to run with.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. It's a good time to be an old school 90s gamer, because we got Crash Bandicoot 4. There are some leaked images, so click on that link if you haven't already. So we got Crash Bandicoot. He's looking leaked. Awesome. Huh? What?
I love that it's all leaked.
Yeah, I know. Which, me and you were talking about this beforehand. How much does it suck to be a developer, and it's like maybe, I think it was tomorrow. They were literally going to announce it tomorrow on Monday. How much would it suck? It's like, oh, I can't wait to show everybody. And then, like, freaking 4chan picks it up, and there's all these leaks, and Reddit picks it up, and you're like, no! Just wait one more day!
Who is losing their job? It's because everybody's on COVID, and they're all staying at home, and they're working from home, so they're sending emails, and the emails are getting hacked by hackers. That's how it's happening. It's got to be.
Right? It's the goddamn hackers. That's the problem with the
hackers and COVID. It's all a conspiracy. I swear it is. So no, it's the leaks were. I'm really excited about the leak, but at the same time, you're right. I do feel bad for the PR rep or the guy that was supposed to leak it tomorrow, or not leak it, but actually release it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, it's like wanting to tell a joke and somebody finishes the line for you.
Right, exactly. It's like somebody. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. We got Crash. We got Cortex. I want to say that almost looks like a snowboard. If you look at it, him going in between the nitro boxes, it almost looks like he's on a snowboard.
No, that's water.
Is it water? Oh, you know what? You're right. So he's on a surfboard, kind of like in Crash 2.
The jetpack? Is that a jetpack or a suit?
He's in like a mech suit, and then the one right below him, I think that mask turns into like a mech suit and,
It's like a new Oogada Boogada.
Yeah, right? Now, here's an interesting thing. Do we get to play as Cortex for some reason?
Yes. And that's what I'm thinking at. I mean, it is a poor quality shot. I mean, clearly
Right.
it's a poor quality shot. But what we're seeing is, and Nick, you can probably pull it up and show it on the screen or whatever if you can.
Yeah.
It's
clearly
Cortex.
Cortex right there, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
it's
floating
Cortex.
on something.
He's floating on something. I don't know if it's a platform or it looks like a happy face cloud.
Yeah, right. And it does look like there's a mask floating in front of him, so don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
Then the right below it, that almost looks like that could be Coco.
I was thinking it was Coco,
futuristic,
the tail and the hair. I want to say that's Coco.
Yeah. And then the best part, October 9th, 2020.
Yes.
We're getting it this year. I don't really give a crap about the totally tubular skins. Like, okay, cool. But here is the interesting parts.
Those are 90s skins, buddy.
What?
Those are 90s skins.
True. Very true. Here's the part I found interesting. The people developing this is Toys for Bob. Toys for Bob did Spyro Reignited.
Oh.
Right? So it's like, oh, interesting. Instead of having Vicarious Vision, which, fun fact, Vicarious Vision is doing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. So they're busy on that. So they're like, hey, Toys for Bob, you did an awesome job. How about you do the next one? But still, at the same time, it's weird that they did it that way.
Yeah.
Because you would think the people who masterfully remastered, or remade, rather, frame by frame, Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, they would have given that to them. So it's an interesting wrinkle, I guess you would say.
Here's my question about it, okay?
Yeah.
We have the release date of October 9th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It was recently leaked on Amazon that PS5 is going to come out November 20th of 2020. Okay?
Yeah.
We even got the prices for it with the unfortunate leak on Amazon. Which, by the way, prices, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good for the
What prices did you see?
$4.99.
Oh, yeah. I think
I think it was like disc version was $4.99 and digital was $3.99. And that I'm like,
that could totally work.
Okay.
Which I mean, with how powerful it is, even if it ends up being maybe $100 more, that would still make the digital edition, which is the one I would probably go for, $4.99, and that'd be okay for me.
Why have more components? And I hate. Again, I am a Sony fanboy, but that's also the issue with Sony is their fanboy. God,
I just got that.
I actually like that one. Okay, I'm gonna stand by my word. So, I love my Sonys. Right? I've had it. I've had every PlayStation. I've owned every PlayStation but the Vita. I'll put it that way. I've owned every PlayStation product but the Vita. I love them, but a lot of their issues is overheating. It's thermal pasting, and it's things that I find myself fixing. And trust me, I maintenance my consoles. I keep them clean. But they do have fan issues. If you own a PlayStation and you're like, mine doesn't sound like a jet engine, you're a friggin' liar, bro. You're a liar, and you have no
every game with headphones on. Which you should.
Take your headphones off. You'll see. You'll hear it, and your friggin' house is going to be taken off into World War II with the planes that's in there. No, it's loud. It's hot and heavy. I personally have not. Oh man, dude, the last disc game I bought was probably Uncharted 4.
Okay, yeah.
Just to have the disc version before that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly can't remember. I think it might have been like one of the Lord of the Rings or something like that. But it was something small. It was stupid and cheap. I have been buying digital for years.
Yep.
4 years.
Same.
And honestly, part of the reason why I did it was so I didn't have the opportunity to be like, I want to exchange my game.
Hey, oh my God. Me and you just say wing blink.
Yeah. It's like I don't want, because I would find myself, I'm like, oh, I want to try this new game. I'll just trade this in. And then I find in a couple months, I'm like, oh, I want to play this game again. I got to go buy it again. You end up rebuying games. It's GameStop sh- shame on you.
How
Shame
dare
on
you? You created a crack for me to smoke.
Seriously, with my fingers.
Speaking of crack to smoke,
So,
skaters.
yeah, I didn't think we were going to lead into it with that, but let's do it. Here
Let's
we
do
go.
it.
Let's
Pavement
go.
crack,
Skater
to be more
XL coming
specific.
in July.
Huh?
Skater XL coming in July.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be a skater enthusiast for video games. You got Skater XL coming in July. That one's like an open world skater game. Skate 4 just got revealed. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 got revealed.
Remaster,
There is a game called Session. And I think I think that's either in early stages or it's in like closed beta. I can't remember, honestly.
But yes, right now is the best time to be a skater enthusiast. If you played any type of skating game from the 90s to early thousands, well, then you are about ready to crap your pants for this.
I know. I mean, if you've ever played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or THPS or then you're just in for a lot. I'm a dad.
Okay, so all right, I got Session right now. I'm going to put this all out here. It's on Steam. It's $20 to pay for. Recent reviews, 264 recent reviews, all very positive. All reviews, 4,511, all very positive.
Nice.
And we're looking in, it's still in early access. So there's still some development being done. There's still some work being done. It's $20. I haven't purchased it yet. Knowing that it is for sale in early access, I think I'm going to purchase this today, and I'm going to give it a shot because it's summer skate games.
Yeah,
summer skate games.
Summer of skate. Wait, is October still counts? Damn it!
And you and I talked about this, Nick, about how, like, I tried skateboarding and I didn't have the skill. And I know it's all about practice. Like, I was actually pretty good on a BMX, stuff like that. Rollerblades, I did okay, but skateboards, the board would always get away from me. Like, I just didn't have the main feet control.
Where are you going?
But I could still ollie. I could still do like a kickflip. I couldn't land it, but I could do it. Nollie pop shove-its were my best trick. I could do those off of anything, whether it be like a small stair set or a ledge. Didn't matter. I could do it. But I wasn't a skater, right? Like, but I still idolized it. I still watch the X Games today. Like, I enjoy watching these athletes do these things. And honestly, I like playing as those athletes. I find that when it comes to athletic sports, that skating is idealistically more fun to do on a video game than, say, playing football or basketball.
Because you can't get your owies. So
I think it's going to be really, really fun. And you even said yourself, like, this was something you played, right? This was something that you yourself enjoyed. And I think that's amazing that we're getting it for this summer.
Yeah, super exciting. All right. All the happiness out of our system, good, because it's time to go to... We're going dark. Okay. This is uncomfortable, honestly. I've had quite the weekend, and it's all in my head. It's all just things in my head. But the absolute, like, hate and vitriol towards The Last of Us Part 2, which, just as a prerequisite for you and me, Kevin, we're going to try our best not to generalize, because that's unfortunately what some other people are doing, and we're going to try to step above that, okay? So anyways, but a lot of people are hating on it for a lot of different reasons. Some of them are stupid. Some of them are maybe a little fake. I don't know. Some of them are legitimate. And some of them are just seriously, in today's society, there's a lot to it. And there's also a lot of stuff in the background. Like, apparently there was a copyright strike for one of the songs that they used for one of the advertisements. There's obviously some accusations, which ended up being false, about how Neil Druckmann put himself into the game and then had a sex scene with somebody. And it's like, Well, no, hold on. That's another actor that just happens to have a man bun. Like,
Yep.
don't generalize. Oh, that's a white guy with a man bun. That must be Neil Druckmann. I mean, come on. But
Yep.
no, there's just so much to it. And the thing is, here I had some things that I wrote down. Okay, so here's some disclaimers. 10 out of 10 does not mean that a game has no flaws. It means that it's a masterpiece. Nothing is a perfect game. Everybody can agree that nothing ever made has been a perfect game. So stop trying to say that a perfect score means that it's a perfect game. That's not what it means. It's an opinion. That's it. It is okay to like a game regardless of the quote-unquote popular opinion. Perfect example.
Yeah.
Me and Kevin happen to like Fallout 76. Tons of people hate that freaking game. And there are some legitimate reasons to hate Fallout 76, especially when it first released.
Yep.
I didn't personally experience a lot of the bugs that people were complaining about, but they were still valid. They were still... But hey, me and Kevin, we love that game. You know, we love that game, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to have an opinion. And then the last thing is inclusiveness does not automatically mean agenda is being pushed. Context matters.
I don't get that.
Context.
It literally makes no sense to me. Like,
context matters. So
yeah, I mean, the game is what it is. Okay, you have an antagonist who happens to prefer a certain lifestyle. Yes.
yeah,
You have.
you mean protagonist?
You have a diverse cast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, big deal. There's a grow up in the game. Okay, big deal. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that these things offend you. I don't understand why they do. Okay, they're not.
I feel like the
they're
same
not-
people who are getting pissed off about the inclusiveness are the same people who got pissed off at like Apex Legends for having a Samoan, having a non-binary, having a gay person. You know, it's like, why does it matter? Like they called it like clear pandering. It's like, is it though? Like they're just trying to, you know, if anything, they're just trying to be marketable. It's like, hey, there's a lot of different type of people who play a video game. Why don't we make a lot of different type of people so that somebody can feel good about themselves? I have a friend. It's not a close friend. It's a Twitter friend. I don't know why I had to. He's been on one of our podcasts before. His name's Jeff. You know, I think he's like Mr. Smash or something on Twitter. And he took a screenshot of the part where you go into the... I don't want to get it wrong. The synagogue. What's the Jewish like synagogue? What's that
Synagogue.
called?
That's a
Synagogue. Oh, I got it right. Okay.
Right.
But there's a part where you open up a cupboard and there's a Torah there. And so he took a picture of that and he went on Twitter and he's like, "Hey, thank you for the representation." You know, that's all. That's all. It's this nice little kind of Easter egg. Like if you don't go into that room, you wouldn't see it. But obviously, you know this is a synagogue. The two characters have a conversation about, oh yeah, my sister was really heavy into this stuff, and she would have loved to see this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just, okay, cool. I guess the only other disclaimer is neither one of us has 100%ed the game yet. We haven't gotten all the way through the game.
No,
I personally am 10 or 12 plus hours in, and it's like I haven't really seen anything that was as egregious as like, a bad example, and especially if Nate was here, he would hate me for it. But especially, nothing's been so in your face, agenda pushing as in like The Last Jedi, when there happened to be like nothing but women on the bridge, and all they wanted to do is kick off the pilot. That was a little bit in your face, a little bit. I'm not saying that I hated it. Well, I did. I didn't really like The Last Jedi. But I'm saying the fact that there's women, I didn't hate that. But it was kind of in your face that this woman, who may or may not have been a lesbian, that doesn't really matter to prove my point, happened to want to get rid of the pilot. But it's just like, it was a little heavy-handed, and there were other moments. That's just one moment in the entire thing. Yeah. There were other moments. But that was like clear. Whereas in here, there are characters. One of them happens to be a lesbian. One of them happens to be a Jewish person. One of them happens to be an Asian person. I don't feel like there's this clear, like, oh my God, there's so many different types of people. Where are all the white people at? You know? Like, I don't feel like that's, You know, if anything, the main character is a lesbian, so maybe she would naturally hang out with other minority groups because she feels like, you know,
They're more accepting.
they're more accepting. I don't know. Not only that, but like I was talking with my wife about it.
I don't even think it's that. I honestly don't think it's that. I literally feel like they're in a zombie apocalyptic world, man. They're in a world where everything's turned to crap. Why is it so far-fetched to think that, maybe we're just going to set our differences aside and live as a society?
Yeah.
So you got to think about the survivability of, it's not race, creed, or color, it's survivability of humans, right? Mm-hmm. We're all human. We all bleed. We all have blood, hearts, and brains. Some brains work better than others, but that doesn't mean we judge them any differently. They're still freaking humans, right?
Right.
And in a game like this, is it so hard to conceive and spectate that each society that forms is going to have a diverse group of people because that's who frickin' survived.
True, yeah.
Old white people, young white people, lesbian white people, gay white people. You ready for the spectrum? Old black people, young black people, straight black people, gay black people. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what color they are. There's going to be people that survived. Okay,
right.
And in this game, you see that. You see that there's a diverse group of people that survived. What about Behemoth Jane over there with her freaking fat neck and her muscles, right? Like, is she straight? Was she at one time a man? We don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because it's a freaking video game, people.
Yes.
It's a freaking video game.
I cringed just for a second. I wasn't sure where you're going with it.
Wee wham bus. Hop off the wee wham bus. Wee wham, wee wham. It's not a big deal, okay?
Yeah.
Just play the game and enjoy the game. The other thing I'm seeing is I've seen in the complaints, Nick, is like there's not enough puzzles or it's not too in depth. Okay, get out. Dude, are you even playing the game?
There's plenty of puzzles. There's so many puzzles, but the thing is that a lot of the really cool, interesting puzzles are side puzzles. They're not the main puzzles. So maybe there's an argument to be had there. Maybe it's like, oh, I would like my story puzzles to... No, I can sort of understand that. But at the same time, there's still plenty of puzzles, and a lot of them are very thoughtful. So let's get into the meat of it, because we're going more on a tangent. So obviously, if you look at the Metascore, you got 95 for critics, 3.7 for users, and that's out of 41,629. One thing I don't like, I really don't like this. I've watched countless videos by this point, and this is why I'm in such a funk. You know what I mean? I've watched countless videos where the people like essentially praising this are basically saying that these are the fans talking. They're assuming that everyone who's giving it a bad review are the true fans, and while everybody who likes the game, it's like, no, you're dumb. If you don't like the game for some reason, that's okay. I'd like it to be a legitimate reason, like, oh, it's inclusive, I hate the game.
Yep.
I don't personally agree with that. I would like for you to have legitimate reasons, if you think that the story isn't good. I don't agree with that. I personally don't. But if you don't like it for specific reasons, the story is a little bit, the gameplay is nah, that's okay. That's totally okay. It's weird though, the disconnect, because there are so many people giving it zeros. There are so many people, and some of them have legitimate reasons. Some of them are from 4chan. Some of them are doing it for the trolls. Some of them, like, when Warcraft 3 got review bombed, it was for a real reason. We were promised a better looking game. We were promised cutscenes. We were promised a better UI, and Blizzard didn't provide that.
They fell massively short.
Massively. So when that was review bombed, it made sense. It 1,000% made sense because the developers deserve that.
Yeah.
Now is some of what Neil Druckmann does questionable? I don't possibly. I don't personally think that. I don't know. I only have what's publicly available. But yeah, for some reason, there's just this absolute vitriol towards the game. And it's just a little shell-shocking because, once again, it goes back to the fact that, like, we like it. And this is what I hate about being, like, a content creator. we're still really small. We're a very small channel, and so like by me saying I like The Last of Us, does that make me wrong in a lot of people's eyes? Does that make me stupid because I think the stories, like, this is something I'm genuinely thinking about, because it's like I don't want to be hated just because I like a video game, but I do, and I'm not gonna like step aside just because, oh well, these are the reasons you should hate it. You're wrong, and it's like, no, it's my opinion. Have an opinion, people. Have an opinion without.
That's not a valid argument.
Yeah. But one thing I did want to point out. So 15, 7, 18 negative reviews, 771 mixed. I think I would listen to the 771 way more than the 15, 7, 18, because a lot of those are like ones and zeros. It's like, are you really reviewing the game at that point?
No.
But then you have 5774 positive. Now, the only reason I bring that up is because I thought this was an interesting parallel. I went to The Last of Us on the PlayStation Store, and I looked at the rankings there. Now, the ratings there, if you don't know, you have to purchase the game in order to be allowed to rate it. Like, you can't just rate the game if you feel like it.
Right.
You have to be signed in. You have to have purchased the games. So I'm looking right now at The Last of Us Part 2 Digital Edition. It has 3,123 games, and it's got 5 stars. Now we look at The Last of Us Part 2 regular edition, so not the digital deluxe. It has 5,145 ratings, and it's got a 4.5 star. And so this kind of goes back to the point I was making before, when you have a bunch of videos saying, this is the fans' reaction. The fans don't like it. How do you explain this discrepancy? The fact that on the PlayStation Store itself, you have 8,268 people basically agreeing it deserves at least a 4.5 star, if not 5.
But there is an argument that, can you trust that rating, or is that Sony hyping up a game because it's their product?
I mean,
like, hey, let's put a bunch more views on this. Let's have our company put views on this. That way it's on top of the PlayStation Store. And because it's all based off algorithms. It's all based off that.
Well, right, but they also own the store, so they put it wherever they want.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to sell something that took a lot of time and money, you may bump up the scores. That's just to play devil's advocate, obviously.
Right. And I mean, obviously,
that's to play devil's advocate. But at the end of the freaking day, it is a good game.
Yeah.
And you may be a person that's like, are you kidding me? Ark's the best game that was ever created. Okay. Sure. If that's how you feel, then sure. Who's to say that your belief is wrong on that? It doesn't mean that this game is trash. It doesn't mean, because I agree. There's a huge discrepancy, I think. Even in the basis of the fact that, like, why is that score so low? Like, what are you guys complaining about so heavily?
Yeah.
That,
I mean, because if you
a 3.7,
yeah,
like, come on,
yeah. I mean, if we go with the argument that maybe, we don't know if the 8,000 are real ones, we could say the same thing about the negatives. So on both sides, it's like, how many of these people are actually playing the game? I'm not going to say that, the total would be over 20,000. I mean, that sounds about right. 22,000 maybe total people who've, no, look at the number. It says it, 41,629. That doesn't add up to 41. So there's definitely some reviews missing. Oh, it might just be these are the written reviews or something. I don't know. I don't know how
I'm reading a few of them now, and it's I mean, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. I waited 5 years to play this, and they gave me a horrible intro and blank word ending. I just want to forget about this game. Like, what kind of a review is that? Gameplay is boring and monotonous. The plot is bad and uninteresting. Only the graphics is good. Only the graphics is good. Only the graphics is good. Your English is not. This is the most detailed one I've seen. It breaks my heart to write this, but I really did not expect such a poor story after all these years of waiting. While there were a few genuinely good moments, majority of the game filled up with plot holes. It just took elements of what worked for the first game without understanding what made them compelling.
Mm.
It seems like this game was done by another studio, but it's not. The basic gameplay has stayed the same, for better or worse. Environment puzzles are almost gone. So remove story from the table and you are left with the shallow gameplay that will have you looking for some other game. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's thought out. Let's not discount that as an opinion. We're not going
Right.
to tear that review apart. We're not going to
No.
say that person's wrong, but at least that person has legitimate qualms with it.
No, and here if you take the good with the bad, there were a few genuinely good moments. If you were to just say there's a few good moments, then it's like, yeah, there were some good moments. There were some genuinely good moments. He thought about that word genuinely in an aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Now, this is one person, Vangelius, I think that's how you pronounce it, who played the game, who is a, I feel like this was a fan. I feel like a fan wrote this, and this fan may have been let down. Also, look at your play style. You and I found out that I got different puzzles than you got in some areas, and I got different cutscenes than you got in other areas as well. I think it's not necessarily that the puzzles aren't there. You just have to find them.
Yeah, true.
I think you just have to find them. So I think exploring your world, don't be so straightforward with the game. This review was written on June 19th. When did the game drop?
June 19th.
Okay. So you're telling me the same day the game came out, you played all the way through it and thought it was trash. Did you even play the game?
I like I said, I don't want to pick it apart.
All of these reports
True,
I'm seeing
yes.
are from June 19th. I wasn't speaking about his specifically. I guess I kind of was. But the one under him about this review contains spoilers, click whatever.
Yeah, don't
My disappointment is measurable. Gameplay is boring and monotonous.
Yeah.
This franchise is all about the story. These bad reviews are all from June 19th. Did you even play the game?
Yeah. And I think the thing is, one thing that seems to be a major component or a major comparison, let's say a through line. The number one through line does seem to be people's expectations.
Right.
They were expecting, an evolution, whereas this game, it does evolve where it needs to evolve, but then it keeps the things that worked, in my opinion. And so I think the major problem is that, people expected the world, they expected.
And I don't think we were ever promised that.
Yeah, I feel like by the gameplay that altogether, if you take all the gameplay that they released over the years that they were in development, I would say maybe an hour of the game was shown. And that hour was pretty much, hey, here's The Last of Us, but with some new stuff. And so when I bought the game, that's what I was buying it for. Now, there is one small thing that I could maybe understand if people were genuinely upset about. Some of the marketing, we're not going to get into any spoilers, just so you know. There was some marketing showing, one person in a certain scene, and then in the game, that person wasn't there. It was somebody else. So there was a little deceitful marketing for once you play the game for obvious reasons. But at the same time, I could understand to a certain extent that you were sold a game based on trailers and then you played the game and you didn't get that game. I can understand why you would be upset.
Yeah.
The only part I don't understand is a 0 out of 10. Like, I can't agree with that one way or the other. If you don't like certain things, like the one guy you said he hated to write that. What did he rate it?
It wasn't good. A 3.
A 3. Really? There were
He
genuine moments, but you gave it a 3. Like, so that's like, okay, at least he didn't give it a 0. Let's just say that.
No, he did not give it a 0.
I don't want to break it down. Point is, at the end of the day, I love.
Honestly, the highest score I'm seeing, Nick, is a 4.
Yeah. Oof.
No, I found a 5.
Well, so that gets into the mixed ones. So those are the yellow ones. But anyways, but at the end of the day, I love The Last of Us Part 2.
100%.
I'm allowed to. I'm allowed to have my opinion. You are allowed to have your opinion if you don't like it.
I like lesbians and weed. I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay. But yeah, we're allowed to have our opinions. You're allowed to have your opinions, but review bombing in this particular circumstance, I'm still stuck on the whole these are the true fans reacting. It's like, wait, so I'm not a true fan? Me completing the game 4 separate times over the course of the 7 years is not a true fan? Me going through just painstakingly every level just so I can see little details is not a true fan? That's the part I don't like. That's the part. You have your opinions. Have them. Okay?
Yep.
But to then somehow attack a group of people based on the fact that they like the game and you don't, that's the part that was just genuinely upsetting to me, because it's I am a fan and I do like the story, I do like the characters, I do like the gameplay, and yet because I like all those things, suddenly is my opinion void? It sucks, because it is to a certain extent affecting my enjoyment of the game, because I enjoy it so well. But to enjoy something so much just to have somebody else say, oh yeah, it's dumb, just dumb, stupid, just dumb, whatever, dumb.
So dumb.
So, I don't know. I guess maybe it was a little bit too much of a tangent. We want to hear from you guys. And especially if you can keep it civil and keep it spoiler-free, I would love to know if you didn't like it.
100%.
Because it's just something we don't personally understand, and it would be nice to hear from other people.
We want to hear educated opinions. Okay,
for sure.
That's what we want to hear. So again, going back to that gentleman that I read his review, we didn't tear his review apart. We didn't say that his opinion is completely trash. My only concern was okay, you posted on the same day that the game was released at 10 p.m.
I mean,
the night before.
Well, wait, the night before?
Or you know what I mean.
Oh, the night of? Oh, well, I mean, technically, if he took the day off, he could have gone through the whole thing.
I mean, could have.
We're getting into semantics. We're really getting into semantics.
But again, that's the only question that I would have for that gentleman is okay, but did you play it? Did you actually go through and look for everything and do everything that you could do? Or did you just speed run it for the story?
Right. And I mean, remember when we played through Crash Bandicoot?
Yes.
There was a certain pressure to get it done, and how much less did we enjoy the games because of that?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. No, I completely agree with that. So again, if you have an opinion, we definitely want to hear it. Be educated. Don't just come in it's garbage, it's trash, it's a burning tire fire. Okay,
tire fire. Yeah, definitely. Why? So down in the comments below, please share, subscribe. We love doing these videos. We've been doing a lot more, so keep an eye out. Subscribe, do the bell, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. I was one of your hosts, and Nick.
I'm Kevin.
Yep. And happy Father's Day to everyone.
Happy Father's Day, guys.
Bye.
With you, since you have younger babies, you have the youngest baby, so we'll do you for Father's Day. Hey, happy Father's Day, Nick. Happy Father's Day.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
We're gonna say Happy Father's Day.
And I get it first because I'm more important. Thank you. I'm just saying you have 3, so you outnumber me, even if mine is newer.
But if you're going in numerical order, you're before me.
How so?
2's before 3.
2 is before 3.
Yes. 1, 2. You gotta go to 2 before you get to 3.
Whatever. Fucking weirdo.